Mortgage broker versus the bank. Why would you choose a mortgage brokerage over going to your bank that you bank with on a regular basis? This is a topic that I like discussing, and it might seem as though we get this question all the time. And truthfully speaking, I don't get asked a lot. A lot of the people that call us usually know why they're calling us and already know that advantage. But based on trending search history, it looks like there are a lot of people out there that do search this because they want to know the difference. And that's what we're here to discuss today.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting point. We take it for granted, I think, being so close to this industry. I mean, at the end of the day, we are mortgage brokers and we know what we do, but it's at the same time, clients might not. And the main, I would say, advantage to a mortgage broker or using a brokerage is that we're not restricted to dealing with one institution when you're looking for a solution. Imagine you walk into a specific bank, or typically people by default go to the bank that they have their checkings and savings accounts with. But you walk in there, you want to get a mortgage done, the rates that they're offering you, the products that they're offering you, it's really based on whatever it is that they're offering at that time. So in many ways, you're restricted to whatever is in-house. When dealing with individuals like ourselves, we have no restrictions when it comes to that. We have access to various lender guidelines, criteria, product sheets. And so when you come to us and we analyze and we work with you to determine what the best solution is, what is it that you're looking for, whether it's a purchase or refinance, we are able to then seek out the solution regardless of what institution there is. That's one main benefit. I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, I actually have an important thing to add to that, and that would be, and I don't mean to rag on anyone at the bank. There are a lot of people, bank representatives, that do what they do pretty well, but they also do a lot of different things. Some of them are mortgage specialists. Some of them are personal finance advisors. Some of them are small business advisors, and some of them do it all. And as great as it is to be good at a bunch of different things, it's more important to be really good at one thing. So for people that are looking for a mortgage, why not just go to somebody who does that as a living, has incentive to put in the work solely for that and know it well. And I guess if I could finish that point off, it would just be that there's more incentive for us. This is what puts food on our table. This is what we do for a living. And somebody at the bank may be a salaried employee where, yes, they have targets to reach, but it could be a cumulative target for all of the business that they do. And maybe your mortgage request doesn't have the same importance to them as it would to us.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point as well. And I mean, there's so many other things that are beneficial in using a broker. I mean, just as one, as far as compensation goes, some people might assume that just because you're using a broker, you're hiring somebody, therefore it's an extra layer of fees that are involved in the process, and that's not always the case. If you're meeting all the guidelines and you're qualifying through institutional lenders, in most cases it's the banks that are compensating the brokers for bringing you to them. But we're not motivated to bring you to any particular bank. We're just so happy to take you to one that you qualify and they meet what you're looking for. So you have that advantage as well. And I think the other thing that we don't really realize, like we know and we do it on an ongoing basis, is the narrative. Like we get to control and package the story surrounding your application the way we wanted to before presenting it to the lender. I mean, maybe you can discuss how, if you walk into a bank that has your checkings account, savings, investments, everything, your entire history, how that in some ways can be a good thing, but maybe also work against you when it comes to getting a mortgage of any kind.
I love the component of storytelling because it's a component of sales, but it's an entirely separate thing. And it's something that a lot of people don't feel confident doing for themselves. Maybe they don't do it on a regular basis, and maybe this comes with experience, but if you cannot sell your story, then you're not selling yourself to the bank. And it's not a direct type of sales. It's just the bank needs to understand your circumstances. And to answer your question about why having all of your eggs in one basket or all of your finance products with the same bank, it to me seems like complacency. You're going to by default accept what the bank is telling you is the best alternative for you or the best solution for you. And you never really get the experience of just going out there and seeking something better. And there's always going to be something out there that's better for you. The more comfortable you get with the bank, the less effort they have to put into maintaining your business. So if you have your mortgage with them and your life insurance with them and your RSP with them and your TFSA with them, they have you. They have you. They have everything that they need from you, and there's nothing more they can do to keep you happy. And when you're not happy, I just feel like they just assume that you're stuck.
No, that's very, very true. Actually, as you're saying it, I'm thinking like by default, when you think about getting a mortgage, what's the first thought? Like who would you, if you weren't to think about anything or go research it, the first place you would think to go is the bank. And because they know they have that advantage, it's almost like even when it comes to what they're offering you, they don't necessarily offer the most competitive rates or products that you would ultimately want. And there are alternative lenders that you might not hear about unless you seek them out, that because they don't have that advantage, they have better products, better rate sheets, and so on. So there's so many other fine components to this process that we as brokers have access to and understand. And there's only benefits to using a broker. There aren't really any cons. I mean, we haven't even talked about credit reports. Like we only have to pull it once, and we take that same report and supply it to wherever we're going. But imagine you go to one bank, right, and they pull your credit. Well, they're not going to, if it doesn't work out there, they're not going to supply you with that report and say, okay, here you go across the street, maybe they'll help you. No, because across the street, they're going to need to do an application and pull their own report. Imagine doing that 3, 4, 5 times. By the time you're done, you might have knocked your credit to a point where now you don't even qualify. So I know we're a little biased here talking about pros, but there are only pros that we can see, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get why that comes off as bias. And it's almost like it would be stupid for us to come on here and talk about cons. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, I just don't see cons. If you were to compare the two options, right? And you have the bank, which doesn't cost you a penny to start. And you have a brokerage, which likely doesn't cost you anything either. And you were to weigh the pros and cons between both. Why would you not choose the option of using a broker who is ultimately looking for your best interest? They're taking care of you, and they're taking care of you because they want your business. And when someone's fighting for your business, they're going to provide you with an exceptional service. That is the reality of business. Yes, you coming to us and getting a mortgage through us puts food on our table, but it's the only thing that puts food on your table. So I'm not juggling your priorities with somebody who's also looking for a savings account or a checkings account. And that's what it comes down to, is you need to be taken care of. And I can't tell you how many times, time and time again, where people call us and they're like, you know what, I'm really upset with the bank. I just feel like they haven't prioritized my file. They're not returning my calls. I applied 5, 6 weeks ago and I don't have an answer yet. That is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And there's no reason why anybody should go that long without getting responses from the representative that's taking care of their file.
Yeah, fair point. I mean, it happens all the time, and we continue to hear that from our clients. And it's just we don't get why it happens. But at the end of the day, whatever they're doing, it speaks to the benefits of using a broker at the end of the day. So if there's things that we haven't talked about, I mean, you guys are feel welcome to give us a call and ask those specific questions. But these are the kind of things that go through, I think, many of our clients' minds, especially those that aren't experienced with brokers, or those that are new to first-time home buyers and just trying to figure out how to kind of go about or navigate the space.
Yeah, we'll take care of you. Give us a call. That's what we're here for.
Cheers.